Hi, Derek here. As you've probably seen from our social media posts, we're in the process of putting together a touring field hockey team to go to the USA in January of 2020. And basically, there's a tournament going on in Florida where you're going to get the opportunity to play in front of hundreds of coaches. And the upshot of this holiday is that you could potentially come away with scholarship offers down the track. So if living and studying in the USA, getting a world-class degree and playing hockey as an elite athlete is of interest to you, then this video is going to really get your attention. So what we're doing at the moment, we're waiting on the tour details and pricing to come back from our tour partners. And while we're doing that, I thought I'd put together a couple of videos just to give you some details around sports scholarships in the USA and how they work. So whether you're discovering USA sports scholarships as an opportunity for the first time and you're just thinking about it as an option, or you might be currently going through the recruitment process either on your own or with a recruitment agency, either way, you're going to get a lot out of these videos. So as I mentioned, we're taking a team of girls on tour in January 2020. And there's basically 16 spots in that team, so they're likely to fill up fast. So what we want to do is just run through some details around what does it mean to be a student athlete on scholarship in the USA. And basically what I want to do is give you a bit of background about our story. I'm the co-founder of USASportsScholarship.com and the 30-day game plan. And basically, Melissa and I, my wife Melissa, we've got two daughters. Our oldest, Georgia, is currently on scholarship in the USA, playing for a Division I college in the States. And she's, at the time of recording, she's back here with us. She's just finished her first year and she's got nearly 3 months back here at home playing hockey, working. And she's just loved her experience over the last 12 months. And Amelia, our younger daughter, she's in grade 11 and she's been seeing what her sister's been going through, and she's on her own sports scholarship journey. And she's got a very different experience to Georgia because, of the things that we learnt, the challenges that we had with getting Georgia a sports scholarship. And I'll go into that in more detail over the course of this video and the next couple of videos. But basically, we had a bit of a roller coaster ride with Georgia, initially starting out with a recruitment agency and not getting the result we're after and eventually having to go it alone. And basically what we've done is we've created USA Sports Scholarship to help other families avoid some of the challenges that we faced through that process. So there's essentially 16 stages that you'll go through on your sports scholarship journey. There's the initial idea phase of when you first start to think about the USA as an option. You then sort of discover what's involved in that. You then dig a little bit deeper into the investigation of the process. You start to make decisions. I mean, you're making decisions all along the way, but you're starting to make decisions as to whether a USA Sports Scholarship is right for you and playing as an elite athlete over in the States is going to work for you. And that's when you then get into the planning phase. You start to set some goals around your academics and your sporting results that you want to achieve, because what you need to do academically and sports wise will dictate the types of scholarships that are going to open up to you. So right throughout this process, you're also creating or building your personal brand. And once you've gone through those first 7 steps, that's when you're really in a position to start engaging with coaches. And from there, you then start to build relationships with coaches. They get to know, like, and trust you, and vice versa. And that's when you start to get into the negotiating of offers and then making a verbal commitment, which is not binding. That's sort of the first step in the process. And then, sealing the deal, you then, create or sign a national letter of intent, and that sort of formalizes the relationship and everyone knows where they're going. And then basically it's the process of preparing to go, touching down in the US, starting pre-season, and then your first semester. So the stages that I've covered in red there, they're really the stages that our Our processes are going to take you through. The tour is going to help you fast track and tick all of these boxes really quickly. There's a whole bunch of tools and resources that we've put together for you as part of the tour package to make sure that all of this is really effective for you if you're coming on tour with us. And we also help you through this entire process even if you're not coming on tour with us. We've got tools and resources that are available to you that you will talk to you about as we go through about the idea and discovery phase. Getting an idea of what's on offer, what's life likely to look like for you as a student athlete in the USA. And through this discovery process, you'll start to get an idea whether living and studying in the USA is going to be right for you. So what we want to dig into now is what can a sports scholarship do for you as an elite athlete? So if we sort of have a look at Georgia's circumstances as a bit of a benchmark for the situation that a lot of kids find themselves in, through their sort of senior years and making decisions around university and those sorts of things, particularly when it comes to players that are looking, striving to play rep hockey, there's a lot of kids striving for positions. There's a lot of good kids that miss out purely and simply because there's a limited number of representative opportunities. And that's the position Georgia basically found herself in. She felt that given the opportunity, she could really take her hockey to another level. But playing club hockey in Brisbane, where you're not part of the elite or high performance programs, then you're only playing club hockey, training once or twice a week and a game on the weekend. And she didn't feel that was enough to really allow her to hit the sort of senior representative targets that she wants to hit. So that's when we were looking at USA Sports Scholarships as an option. And through our discovery process, when we initially looked into it, the whole process of playing as an elite athlete over in the US offers, a lot compared to club hockey here in Australia. So you're going into an elite program, and as such, you're basically getting access to 3 full-time coaches typically with these college teams in the USA, and often more with other assistant coaches and that sort of thing. So you're in a team of 24 to 26 players. So you've got a lot of coaching contact. Okay, you're also going into a squad, as I said, around sort of somewhere between 23 and 26 players, often with other international athletes. So you immediately have friends that you can connect with even prior to going over to the US. So you'll find you'll have relationships with your college teammates, your future college teammates, way before you even get to the US. And it's amazing, like any sporting environment, how quickly sports bonds people. So you'll find that you'll generate lifelong friends from this process. And what you get in season through particularly a Division 1 program, you're going to be looking at around about 20 contact hours per week. So this is video sessions, weight sessions, other training sessions, contact hours on the field, and basically group coaching, team coaching, as well as one-on-one coaching. And then during season, pretty much every weekend you're going to be playing at least 1, probably 2 games a weekend, and there's going to be a lot of travel involved throughout the states. So you get to have a look around. You've got lots of amazing experiences that you're going to go through, and basically you're supported by a whole host of professional support staff. So you're talking head coaches, assistant coaches, associate coaches. You've got sports trainers, nutritionists, psychologists, doctors, all sorts of medical and support staff, weight trainers, all there to help you. So essentially, as a student athlete in these elite programs, you've actually got access to better resources than the majority of programs in your national competition. Okay, you'd have to be basically in your national team to be accessing these types of resources. You also have a lot of supporters coming to the game, so that's other students and family members. And what you'll find is the US families basically adopt the international students. So you have a big support network there, and people adopt you on holidays and get you back to their place for weekends and all of those sorts of things. And you'll find that a lot of the parents will actually follow the teams on tour, and particularly when you're at home games, they have a thing over there called tailgates, and basically that's where the parents have barbecues and picnics and catering out of the back of their trucks in the car parks, and both the teams get together and the parents get together and basically just mingle after the games. So it's a really social atmosphere over there. I mean, one college coach was telling us they get 1,200 people to their home games, and I was going, wow, how do you manage to do that? And basically their home games, they put on free pizza for all of the uni students, so they just get 1,000 uni students rock up for free pizza and watch hockey while they're at it. So there's some really interesting things going on over there. The environment's just nothing like what we have anywhere else on the planet. It's a really unique ecosystem and model over there. So why look at going to the university in the USA when you can get your degree at home? There's nothing wrong with getting your degree at home, but what we're talking about here is putting yourself in an environment that takes your, not just your sport to a whole other level, but your employability to a whole other level. So you essentially, as parents and athletes, you know what your life's going to look like at home, and it's going to be a fairly similar routine to what you're seeing with older siblings or friends, kids that are at uni. It's your current training regime. You're swapping school for uni, throw in a part-time job there, but it's a relatively similar routine to what you've been used to, and it's very, very similar to what every other student in Australia or New Zealand or wherever you are from goes through. Now compare that to being in an elite sporting program where you're traveling, you're meeting new people, you're working you're playing in an elite program where you're learning time management skills, leadership skills, playing sports at a high level, learning to juggle busy schedules. So you've got time management, the whole leadership, resilience, all of these things. The fact that you've gone overseas and studied overseas, lived away from home and traveled, all of these things make you a more interesting person to future employers. Okay, so it's the fact that you develop differently from an education point of view, from an experience point of view, and basically from a personality point of view. And in that process, you're developing a global network of connections. Now, parents watching this, you'll know the value of having corporate connections, having global connections in other countries. The alumni network over there in the university or college system in the US is unlike anything else in any other university system. And that whole package, that whole experience, and the person you become along the way in that journey makes you incredibly attractive in the job market. So in the USA, for example, there's some companies that will only employ student athletes. If you're not a student athlete, they're not going to employ you because they know the value of the experiences that you've received and the person that you've become as a result of those experiences. And coming back to your home market job market after you've left uni, it is a topical talking point. Your whole journey, your whole experience is a topical point in your job application and in interview phase, because it makes you memorable, it makes you stand out. So consider how that compares to what you think your life's going to look like at uni at home. There's nothing wrong with getting a degree at home, but you can get a degree with benefits overseas. So really, this initial process is about, okay, what does a day in the life of a student athlete look like? And is that environment the type of environment that I want to go into? Am I going to thrive in? And essentially, Google and YouTube are are great resources for research. Yeah, you can get stuck with a bit of information overload, so we're looking to fast track a lot of these processes for you. But if you go onto YouTube and do a search for a day in the life of a student athlete and just see what comes up and have a look at all the different videos and campuses and sports, it'll give you a bit of perspective of just how professional these programs are in the States. If you want to refine down to, just add your sport on the end of that, or you can add a particular college on the end of that. Okay, and you'll get a whole range of different videos, either broad or really narrow searches based on what you start looking for. But just go and have some fun with that. There's some really interesting stuff there. Okay, we've actually made this process really easy for you. We've put a link to a playlist at the bottom of the web page where you're watching this video. If you're watching this video on social media, just click on the link in the description box, and that'll take you to the web page, and you can access all these free resources. So you get instant access, so there's no need to put in an email. But if you want to, if you're not already on our tour email list and you want to get direct email updates as soon as the tour itinerary is released, then just click the blue button and pop your email in there, and we'll keep you posted. Okay, so when you click on that playlist link and you're watching the videos, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way you'll get all of the videos that we post. We'll keep you updated. So what we want to do over the next couple of videos is actually show you how you can avoid some of the mistakes that we made. We originally went with a recruitment agency. We paid nearly $5,000. And we thought that that process was going to get us the results that we wanted. We had Georgia at 16 playing Division I senior women's hockey, just starting to make state teams. She was academically very solid. So she was definitely a hot prospect for Division I, but for whatever reason, the recruitment agents weren't getting any engagement or connection through to the college coaches. It wasn't until we went through the process of organising our own sports scholarship privately that we worked out or that we found out and discovered some of the sort of hidden secrets and things that nobody actually tells you, those insider secrets that you only learn once you go deep into a process. So we want to help you avoid the mistakes that we made, help you get a better result with your recruitment agents if you're already with a recruitment agency. How do you make sure that you don't miss out on opportunities because you're not making the right decisions? So we'll cover off more on that in the next couple of videos. So in video 2, basically we're going to take you through the investigation and decision making process and help you get started on the planning, help you with some goal setting ideas. So whether you're going on tour with us or not, we're going to give you some really cool tools to help you through your own sports scholarship journey, regardless of whether you come on tour with us or not. Coming on tour is just going to fast track the process, okay? Because as we said, we're hitting all 9 of these. It's really going to help, particularly with helping you fast track and build your personal brand, helping you with engaging the coaches and building relationships. So video 2, we're also going to cover off on some of the destinations and things that we could be doing while we're in the USA, and we'll refine that and release all of that as soon as we get the itinerary through. So in video 2, we'll give you resources to get you started with researching your options around colleges and what colleges you might want to shortlist and how to go about it. And we're going to take you through the things that you need to know about how field hockey works in the USA. Okay, so before you go, be sure to ask us any questions in the comments below, and we'll answer those when we release the tour details in a couple of days. So also you can grab the resources, just click on the orange buttons below, but leave a comment. Any questions that you've got, pop them in the box, and as we go through the next couple of videos, we'll then start to answer those questions for you. So yeah, look forward to helping you on your sports scholarship journey.